National anthem protests sparking a nationwide debate. The White House now ramping up the fight. Hundreds of players protested Sunday against President Trump during pregame anthems.
Now today we are getting your side of the story. Our exclusive KPIX 5 Survey USA poll asks whether or not standing during the national anthem is wrong or an acceptable way to protest. 46% say it's wrong not to stand, while 40% say it's acceptable. But by a huge majority, 70% said President Trump's comments have made the situation worse. Today, the White House press secretary tried to defend the president.
Did the president go too far in referring to these players as SOBs who should be fired?
I think that it's always appropriate for the President of the United States to defend our flag, to defend the national anthem. This isn't about the president being against anyone, but this is about the president and millions of Americans being for something, being for honoring our flag, honoring our national anthem, and honoring the men and women who fought to defend it.
The president tweeted race, but rather about respecting the flag. But the protests began last year when former 49er Colin Kaepernick said he kneeled because of racial injustice.
I think if the debate is really for them about police brutality, they should probably protest the officers on the field that are protecting them instead of the American flag.
KPIX 5's Juliette Goodrich is at an East Bay high school where students held their own anthem protest this afternoon. Juliette?
Well, Ken, students here at Encinal High School in Alameda gathered for a peaceful demonstration. They actually reached out to teachers and the administration over the weekend so they could come up with a plan today after school.
So now I am inviting you to either take a knee or stand for our national anthem.
These students wanted to do something symbolic as a way to show their freedom of expression and free speech. They gathered around the school's flagpole while Whitney Houston's rendition of the national anthem played. This after a weekend of defiance across the NFL.
We're so
The Raiders and Redskins becoming the latest NFL teams to protest during the national anthem. The Redskins standing and linking arms, and a few kneeling while many of the Raiders stayed seated. Other players protested in various ways. Some stood and locked arms during the anthem while others kneeled as a group. A few players held up a clenched fist, a symbol from the 1960s. All this after President Trump's comments Friday night.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a off the field right now, out, he's fired.
As for NFL fans, they have mixed feelings.
We're all Americans, and for years, what have we all done? Stood up for the national anthem, right? In schools, in games, right? So now we're gonna pick and choose? I'm against that.
We have people who are oppressed. They're being murdered on the streets. We need to be heard.
1, 2, 3.
These high school students who can't vote yet say they're doing what they feel is right for themselves, their future, and the country.
To me, his comments were uncalled for. I feel like he could have handled it in a better way. I chose to come out here and put my hand up during the Pledge of Allegiance to take a stand for what he said.
And this is Monday Night Football. So, Ken, coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll have more on what NFL teams are doing and individual players are doing during the national anthem.
All right, Juliette, another group of Bay Area students are planning to take a stand tonight as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we've learned that the Oakland Unified School District's honor band is actually performing at the A's game tonight, and they're going to take on their own protest, possibly kneeling while they're playing. They did this last year, just weeks after Colin Kaepernick's silent protest, and they said that this year they now have a new, renewed sense of purpose.
Juliette Goodrich reporting live from Alameda. Thank you, Juliette.
Our Alan Martin is here with more results from our exclusive poll. Alan?
Well, Liz, most people we surveyed, 82%, say that they always stand for the national anthem at a sporting event. At the same time, 40% say it doesn't upset them when other people refuse to stand. 28% say that it bothers them a little. Another 28% said that it bothers them a lot. Let's break down the range reaction to all of this. 30% say that players should be tolerated when they do not stand for the anthem, while 16% say they should be celebrated. On the other hand, 18% say protesting players should be disciplined, and only 9% say they should actually be fired. Right now, the hottest selling NFL jersey belongs to a player who conspicuously did not protest. Alejandro Villanueva of the Pittsburgh Steelers stood outside, as you saw, for the anthem yesterday, while all of his teammates and coaches stayed in the locker room. Villanueva is a former Army Ranger. He served 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan. He has drawn both praise and criticism on social media for what he did. Villanueva later said that he made a mistake and, quote, threw my teammates under the bus unintentionally. Ken?